How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review and a little bit of corked, funky, spontaneous, fruited, hopeful goodness in the form of Free Will Brewing. It is their Plum Spontaneous Sour Ale. Yeah, never had this before. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I fucking love plums. Like, plums are probably like up there. Might be number one favorite fruit in general, but it's also my favorite addition to beer fruit-wise. That and apricot is kind of just like slowly kind of floating back and forth for number one and number two. So I'm kind of excited to dig into this. Free Will has been killing it in the kind of funky, spontaneous game as of late, so we'll see what this one has to offer. Besides that, 4.3% alcohol by volume. On the back, we have a little story time. 100% spontaneously fermented ale aged in oak casks. Blue Fair plums from Weister Orchards, York Springs, PA, were added to the selected casks. With 1.5 pounds of whole fruit per gallon, this beer leads with aromas of juicy plums and muted oak, followed by bright citrus, finishing soft and dry with notes of plum skins. Drink now through 2023. Okay, fair enough. 1,260 bottles are produced. 2017 edition, done and done. I love Free Will's new rebranding, from the style to the texture to labels, the whole nine. I'm a fan. So let's see what this sucker has to offer. Thrift store glass. Found this sucker today. I was like, that's a cool looking glass. Wow, this cork is mangled. Yeah, I found that today. I was like, that's a kind of nice, cool looking glass. I'm going to use that tonight. So, yeah. This cork is like really kind of, I would show it to you, but that would take me kind of tilting the beer and whatnot. So that might screw some things up. So let's see. Oh boy. Yeah, this thing was beat to holy hell. It doesn't really show it that much on the top, but you can see it. I mean, that's a weird shaped cork. They had a hard time getting this sucker in there, but if it works, it works. So yeah, this is weird. This is kind of like a champagne-y kind of glass. Kind of makes sense for a fruited, sour-ish kind of beer. So let's have at it. What do we have going on there? Yeah, that looks like pink lemonade. Soft, hazy, pink lemonade vibes through and through. Not much of a head to it. Fruit addition with a bit of thyme and oak will do that to you. Done and done. She looks the part of a sour. Let's see what she smells like. Give this a whirl. I knew I was going to spill it. God damn it. I'm not going to lie. I am getting champagne-like vibes from it. It kind of has this pink champagne-y thing kind of going on for me. Listen, it smells like plums. It has this tart acidity to it, and it has a very vinous character to it. So it's coming off a bit like a wine champagne kind of vibe. Yeah, there's like a soft, I don't even know what we'll call that, the oakiness in there. It's got the soft kind of, maybe it is. It's like a vanilla oaky thing going on, but it's almost like a graininess to it in a fun way. But it's nice. Definitely kind of plum forward, but with that acidic content on top of that kind of white grapiness. I assume this might have hit white wine barrels. I don't know. If it didn't, then it just could be, the foeder doing its magic. But all in all, it just comes off as kind of like a beer version of kind of a pink champagne-y kind of thing. Just going to dive right in. Cheers. Okay. It's very tart. There's a decent acidity to it. There's enough sweetness for not to get out of control. But it's very tart, palate-smacking tart. And you get that dryness from that oak in there. Kind of adds a little bit more of that palate-smackingness to the beer. There's tons of plums in there. They're coming off fruity. They're coming off tannic. They're coming off skinny. Through the whole beer, it's definitely plum forward, but it's still a beer. It's more beer than plums, even though plums are leading the way. There's a huge amount of soft vanilla oak in there, like a big, huge portion of it, and I really dig that. It kind of adds that little bit of additional sweetness that is needed for how dry the beer is, both from, I think, a yeast component to the oak component to the way the beer comes off in general. You needed that kind of pop of sweetness. Yeah, she's tasty. She's nice. For my personal taste, probably just a skosh, a little bit too acidic for me, a little bit too tart for me, but not in the realm of like uncomfortable or too harsh. Just the way my personal palate goes, just a skosh too much. Just a skosh. But that's nothing to take away from the beer. I think it's really nice. I think a lot of people really gush over this beer. I'm not one of those people that really gonna go bonkers over upper level acidity in that kind of saison funky beer world before you get into super sour. This, they can tell you, it's a spontaneous sour ale. All the other beers that I've had from Freewell as of late had saison or something in that kind of verbiage. They haven't said sour. So this one says sour, so I can't really knock it for that because it actually is a sour. But yeah, tasty, nice, plum forward. Vanilla and oak work pretty well. And all in all, pretty damn good beer. Is it one of the better sour beers that I've had as of late? Worthy of being in a conversation. Not that I have had a ton, but there's some that have really done me proper. And this is definitely worthy of the conversation, just maybe not towards the top of the heap. But I have such few and far between. Maybe I should put it up there. I don't know. Value and availability. They gave it to me when I visited a couple weeks ago, and it's usually readily available. At least Freewell stuff is. I'm not sure about this particular beer. And then leave you with, if you like, what will you like this beer? If you like plums, you like sour beers. A bit on the nose, but it works for me. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little plum sour jam right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.